One is a giant gorilla. The other is a giant robot gorilla. We've got King Kong versus Optimus Primal. So, why should these two guys fight? After all, aren't apes stronger together? Well, the stat card that comes with the Ultra Class Optimus Primal toy is literally asking for a fight with King Kong. And since few have come to a definitive answer, let's try to find out which monkey thrashes which. Let's get one thing out of the way. Optimus Primal is not Optimus Prime. At least, not technically. He's not just the big red truck man who now turns into a gorilla. Optimus Primal is actually a totally different bot who is a descendant of the Autobots. Their leader, Apelink, guardian of the transwarp key that allowed their race to cross through time and space, knew that Unicrons and Terracrons would try and take the key. So he gave the transwarp key and the mantle of command to Optimus, who used the key to escape their doomed world moments before Unicron devoured the planet. From there, Optimus, the three remaining Maximals, Airazor, Cheetor, and Rhinox, fled across space and time to ancient Earth, where they established a new base of operations in southern Peru. When the Maximals and Predacons arrived on Earth, they were exposed to too much energon. Keep in mind, I said when, because the transwarp sent the Maximals and Predacons deep into a different time, not just a different place. The plot, theoretically, takes place 500 years after the events of Generation 1, but technically takes place on a prehistoric Earth due to time travel. To handle the dangerous overflow of energon exposure from Earth, the Maximals and Predacons needed beast forms to develop an immunity, thus giving us Optimus Primal. So now we know how this giant gorilla robot came to be, but we still don't know what he's capable of. Well, according to the supergenre Beast Wars stats, Optimus Primal is a force to be reckoned with. In his robot mode, he can run roughly 31 miles per hour. With his jet thrusters, he can fly roughly 7 times the speed of sound at Mach 7, and he has 1 million horsepower. With 1 million horsepower, Optimus Primal has the strength to move 550 million pounds or 275,000 tons. To put that in perspective, that's almost as heavy as the Empire State Building. For range attacks, Optimus has a missile launcher and pistols that fire energon-based explosives. As far as melee weapons go, he's got a pair of swords that can cut through cyber metal and break stone with relative ease. His experience and tactics are a little more tricky to define, depending on if you want to include his pre-Spark Fusion or his post-Spark Fusion as Optimal Optimus. But even without Fusion, there's plenty of tactical skill and experience to show for. Optimus Primal is extremely powerful, easily the strongest and most powerful of all the Maximals, and maybe even a rival to Optimus Prime himself. He's also got the ability to transform and maximize, turning from his more gorilla form into a fully fledged Transformer. Now, before I give you a quick review of King Kong, if you want to see a full analysis of King Kong, check out our video on King Kong vs. Godzilla. There might not be any Harambe jokes in there, but it will definitely clear a lot of things up. So click the link in the description. Now, let's get on with the episode. King Kong is the most powerful and dangerous ape on Skull Island. He is the last of the prehistoric apes, but lucky for him, all other apes alive today pale in comparison. He can easily survive heavy gunfire and is strong enough to lift skull crawlers, which weigh upwards of 100 tons. While he is a power horse, he's not exactly super bright. But King Kong is 5 times taller and weighs 50 times more than Optimus. He can pretty easily rip the robot to shreds if he gets his hand on him. This hypothetical fight is going to rely heavily on official statements rather than feats because it is just a more holistic view of both their strengths. For example, the King Kong movie stat page states that Kong can lift around 5 million pounds, or 2,370 tons. In the movie, his best lifting strength feat is around 815 tons, about 3 times weaker. Optimus Primal's stat page lists him at building level strength, but using feats and scaling, he would be at the mounted level scaling of Megatron. So, I'm actually doing King Kong a favor by going off of statements. What really separates Kong from Optimus would be range attacks. Since Optimus has an array of missiles and blasters at his disposal, he could always keep a safe distance from Kong. And since he is faster while flying, Kong would have a really tough time getting close enough to actually land hits on him. And because Optimus does have a strength edge, him being much smaller would be a good advantage. It would be much easier for Optimus to grab any part of Kong and throw him than it would be for Kong to try and fly and swat Optimus or throw his tiny body around. And then there's tactics. One fights like a tactical machine who thinks logically. The other fights with primitive instinct and blind rage. I'll let you guess which is which. At the end of the day, King Kong's only advantage he has is size. Optimus, on the other hand, has weapons, speed, and intelligence that easily give him the upper hand. So the winner of this fight is the space monkey jacked with guns. Now, if you were rooting for Kong, there might be a strong chance he could win if we pit the Skull Island Kong against the Optimus Primal from the movie. If you guys want to see the rematch, be sure to like the video to let us know. But until then, stay tuned for the next showdown.